the art of relaxation has never been at an all-time high, and need for relaxation as well. And if any of us can relate with our busy day-to-day lives, as well as whenever we go to sleep, it is getting a lot harder for us to mitigate this. However, with the effects of acupuncture, I am here to talk about a wonderful product that has been revolutionizing not only sleep, but of course deep tissue and of course cardiovascular issues, as well as pressure on your joints and any bone or weight issue you might be having. So stay tuned here as we do a deep dive on the Shakti mat and the Shakti pillow here on the Body Rose channel. Welcome to the Body Rose channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my very first video, so anyone looking to support it with a like, share, comment, and subscription to my channel, it's greatly appreciated. And I have to say blessings to everybody who came to this channel in hope of getting some information and of course just intel and just mellowing out as we talk about this wonderful product, the Shakti mat and the Shakti pillow, the acupuncture pillow and acupuncture mat initially. So who is Shakti? They are a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful wellness company that has been producing these lovely mats and lovely pillows from India, of which every single one is handmade and handcrafted out of India, promoting ease and of course just a simplification of acupuncture at home versus going to the traditional acupuncture facility, which we all know is very scarce these days. The one good thing I gotta say about this product is that they are very people oriented. 10% of the proceeds of their sales goes back to community effort and impact and social impact in different humanitarian projects, predominantly environmental. A lot of their mats, as mentioned, they are handmade by different individuals in India. The spikes themselves on a lot of the mats, as well as the pillows, are good for many, many sessions. So the beautiful thing about these acupuncture products that they sell, it simplifies a lot of the usage and the time and conservation of having to go to the actual acupuncture. And it saves you any trips that you may have to make to your acupuncture specialist if you have one, or if you can't even find one, because if you guys are anything like me, you like dealing with actual people, maybe. So I will say, for those who are living a very busy lifestyle though, just like myself as well, this offers up that solution. So as we do this deep dive, again, I encourage a lot of you to just stay tuned as we get into a little bit more detail about what the pillow has to offer, as well as the mat. Pros and cons, of course, which I have very few, but I can still talk about them in hindsight for anybody who has been curious about what Shakti has to offer. So where we start off here in this review, we will be talking about the Shakti pillow, of which the CEO is very kind to send me a pillow and a mat to test out, of which I have to touch base with them. I'd love to market them if they're still interested. It's just been so hard. But needless to say, we're working through it. Life just happens, life be life, and how they always say it. So as I mentioned, it's been a wonderful, wonderful adjustment to my day-to-day. It's changed my life in terms of just stress on the back, blood flow in my veins, relaxation, and just overall wellness. And so this is the Shakti pillow. Very, very cute design. Of course, there's other pillows if you don't like tan. I know people love color. If it were me, I'd do black, but you know what? I am not complaining, because this has just been a lovely, lovely gift from the CEO of the company. And I gotta say, I have nothing to be upset about. So these mats and pillows, they have roughly 3 different levels by the intricacy of the spikes as far as usage and penetration. So on the opposite side, as you see here, we have these spikes. Now this is a level 1 set of spikes for this particular pillow. It's your most basic usage. It's typically for somebody who may be new to acupuncture, who is just looking to get started on the basic. If this is part of a lifestyle treatment for you where you like the intensity of acupuncture, you know, I'm sure you would want the more advanced mat, which unfortunately I do not have that one to talk about today. Hopefully in the near future we can talk about that one too. But with this being the basic one, this is also just as effective, especially if you're not doing acupuncture every day. The spikes are very, very detailed. I don't know if you guys can see it, but very well handcrafted. These spikes are good for at least 1,000 sessions or more in moderate usage. I gotta say that I definitely do my best to be moderate with these. I try not to stay on the spikes for longer than 10 minutes at a time if I can tolerate it, but they have been a wonderful addition to health and wellness, and of course just daily lifestyle choices and practices. Very sharp when you lay on them. They don't feel sharp to the touch, but when you lay on them and your back is tender, you better believe you're going to feel a lot of a greater difference than what you might be used to, especially if you don't do acupuncture often. And it's suggested that this be for the back of your head to your neck, where a lot of blood circulation in the back of your head can flow between the bottom of your head to your spinal cord, as well as just relaxation for any particular reason. So for anybody who is interested in the Shakti mat, I'll have a link in the description for this. If not, I can at least link you to the website to check it out, see if it's something up to speed. But these guys are amazing when it comes to the quality. The one thing that I am not a super fan on when it comes to these pillows is it's hard to adjust at first, but it's acupuncture, so of course it's going to be hard to adjust at first. It's really one of those crucial things when you are starting off in acupuncture to be very, very mindful of your pain threshold and tolerance. And it's not like super painful. It's just a very weird feeling. But like everything, the more you do it, the more you get better at it, right? And the more comfortable it becomes. So I gotta say, that's really like my only con. I love it as far as relaxation and just prepping me before bed after a hot shower. So one thing that I just cannot complain about is definitely the Shakti pillow. So going to bed, wonderful pillow. And the good thing about it, will say that there is a zipper here. I believe you can actually wash or even interchange the inside of the pillow here, which is awesome. So say you do have a new sleeve for a pillow, or you just want to interchange it, which you don't have to. You can always take this off and you can wash your pillow. And it's suggested, oh wow. Yeah, spot cleaning. Let me stop playing. It is cleanable, but you don't want to wash it. But if it does get dirty, hand washing is probably something you might want to avoid. But spot cleaning, I guess, is what it says. I was like, oh, ain't that something? And thankfully I've not had to wash mine. You know, I use mine moderately. I try to keep it clean as well as possible. Then again, I keep my house typically clean too, but that's a different discussion. Ugh, so you know. But if you are looking to just interchange it though too, which I would also encourage, since there are other pillows that they have in their collection, it is definitely something I recommend doing. You can interchange these covers out on these pillows, and of course different products that they also have here. So good to know, right? And now we are going to move on to the Shakti mat. And this is yet another product that was given to me by the CEO for free, which was wonderful, wonderful. And I gotta say, it is just as interesting as the pillow. Similar setup. You can actually wash this spot clean as well. Same design. Love it, even though it's 10. And the opposite side too has a plethora of these spikes. Level 1 basic spikes, because I have not worked my way up to the more intricate level of acupuncture as well. And just as we saw with the pillow, this too has a zipper, so you can take the mat out, spot clean it if you need to, and just be very careful with this, because the materials from the mat and the pillow, they are organic cotton, so the real deal. I gotta say, with the mat, it's good for the top half of your body. So your lower back and your upper shoulder blades is ideally where you would like to be in alignment with this mat. The one thing I have to say about this mat is it packs a wallop if you're brand new to acupuncture. First time, it's going to be so uncomfortable. I'm not even going to lie to you, but it's a good kind of uncomfortable. You'll feel the shift and a lot of the blood circulation between your back and your lower back too. And your legs might get a little tingly, but that's because of the shift in blood flow, which is awesome for anybody who would like to take up more acupuncture for relaxation purposes and to aid in joints. And the weight shifting from the joints. You know, if you're a heavy set person, this is definitely something you might want to practice more of. And again, a lot of people sleep on acupuncture and they feel as though it's pretty uncomfortable. But the good thing about these mats, they simplify the process and you needing to go to an actual professional, not to mention just dealing with needles. Again, level 1 needles, they are at the base level. For somebody completely new, they will feel uncomfortable. For those of you who are looking for something a little bit more advanced, I recommend going to their website. Again, link will be in the description. And I say build yourself up to that point where you not only detox a lot of impurities from your body, that's another benefit to acupuncture, and these mats do also help with that. But I will say the biggest thing is also just, you know, alternative health, you know, better blood circulation, everything of the like. So these mats are very, very user-friendly. There is no weight limitation. Honestly, if you have a bigger body or back, you know, you may want to get 2. They do just as much damage together, but I gotta say, I absolutely love the mats. Again, cons to the mats really, which isn't really a con, to me, it might deter some people, is it, again, just like the pillow, it is going to be hard to adjust on that first go. You will feel that numbness and tingling because of all the circulation of blood flow coming from acupuncture. And I gotta say, the spikes and everything else, it's a very durable mat. Like, even when I'm shifting on it, none of the spikes have come off, even with moderate use, daily use, very durable, very cleanly. I have had no issues with it thus so far. And so with that being the case, and with that being said, it's a wonderful, wonderful practice for someone who is just looking for better alternatives for overall health and provision, excuse me. And of course, just getting yourself more acclimated to acupuncture. Now, with each purchase comes a little booklet, such as this, and this will be with your mat and your pillow. And it's basically telling you who Shakti is, what they do, the benefits that I have also talked about. And then the interesting thing that I also noticed when I was actually going through this is so interesting. So they talk about the challenge of, you know, how long you want to stay on the mat, the benefits you see. I mean, all of this, like health benefits too, tells you their story, where they started, where they're going, what their focus is, their mission, which I was very fascinated with because that tells me they're passionate in what they do. If you want a good product like these guys, you know, any company that tells you where they started and their means is just like the best thing ever. And interestingly enough, going further, so for any breath work enthusiast out there, they actually have a section I came across as well, excuse me, that has an app via the Shakti Shala, and it is free. You want to get into breath work or relaxation tips, I highly recommend this app. I have yet to have used it, but I have been getting into breath work very slowly. Usually I do a lot of deep meditation, saunas and things like that, but I've never actually done breath work. But those of you who are into breath work, highly, highly recommend getting into the app. Again, it's free. That's a huge benefit with working with Shakti. Additionally, another thing that I love about Shakti, it goes back to their humanitarian practices. They have a little pamphlet here talking about their humanitarian practices right here, who they've impacted, what they have put their investments on, handmade mats and pillows. Of course, they do employment for the individuals that make these for them on behalf of Shakti. As a matter of fact, another thing you get with the mat and the pillow with the purchases is who produced them. So on the back of mine, and it was the same person, it was goodness, it was some nun who made my pillow and who made my pillow and who made my mat by hand, and I got both of the same person to make it, which was awesome. And additionally, just this being like my very first Shakti mat, they also put this in my box. So very, very just intentional company, very people oriented. I have had no bad experiences. Just again, that con was just getting started and getting used to acupuncture from home. And I have to say, it's much more pleasant. There are no smells, there are no big needles, no big long needles. Not that I mind, but it's just one of the things that a lot of people they're not able to find a typical acupuncture, anymore. And for the person with a busy life and a busy schedule, this is a high-end recommended option for anybody that's looking to simplify their life while also seeking out that wellness factor and incorporating that into their day-to-day schedule. So I hope this video was very informative for you if you're looking for alternatives and wanting to simplify your life and clean up your life and wellness. Even if it's not that, you just want to try something new, especially acupuncture, I highly recommend this mat. It gets 10 out of 10 stars from me. It's been very beneficial to my ecosystem. I'm hoping to become a partner with these guys eventually. But they're wonderful at what they do. They really care about their people. I have not a complaint to make about these guys. So thank you again for joining me and this little mini deep dive over Shakti. Hopefully any of you who have been curious about it, you typically just have no issue in wanting to check it out. I will tell you, it's been helping me glow every single day just using my Shakti mat, especially after a shower. It works the best after that, so quick tidbit. But again, thank you so much for coming to check me out, and I'll see you on the next video.